Hello everyone, Souls is here again for another figure review, and today we'll be looking at the Nendoroid 526, Akari Hizamaru, from the anime, one of my favorite animes by the way, of 2014, Terraformars. And as you can see, this is the super movable edition of Nendoroid, which I'm not really too familiar with as this is my first one. I remember Archer got a super movable edition, and yeah, I'm not really sure what that entails. Maybe more joint placement or just more articulation. I'm not exactly sure, but I guess we'll find out during the review. So let's get started. Okay, so here's Akari Hizamaru right out of the packaging, and I gotta say, this is one very cool Nendoroid. From the hair to the face to the sculpting and of the uniform, it just looks awesome. And I think the character itself just looks so cool that it lends itself well to like a physical type of medium and a Nendoroid chibi form. He looks very stunning, I have to say that. And also I love the character design, like for one simple fact, and that's the uniform. I think it just looks very cool, and it definitely shows in this Nendoroid form. Now let's get into some articulation, because I'm sure you guys have seen all these joints littered around this whole model kit. And also, this is the superposable edition, so I'm very curious to see how well it moves. So let's check it out. So starting off with the head, let's do a side angle. He can go down that far, which is pretty darn good, and up, which is about that far, which is it's okay. And let's check out the arms. Now this is where the articulation gets super movable. So the shoulder joint lets him go up about this high, and it lets him go back about this far, and forward this far. And this Nendoroid has elbow joints, which is amazing, and something you really don't see in Nendoroids. So it lets him do this, which is awesome, because usually you'd have to swap off a whole nother arm joint or a whole nother arm itself just to do this pose right here. So that's awesome. Next up, the jacket, and the arm comes off. So the jacket actually has some articulation as well, and I think I'll raise him up a little bit. It's actually, let me take that off. It's actually on a ball joint, as you can see right here. So the movement is, you know, everything is colliding into each other a little bit, so you're not really going to get much movement, but you can pull off some dynamic poses with the amount given. So you can do like that. It goes out that far and goes forward. I'll take it off. Goes forward about that far, not really much, and goes back that far, which is actually pretty decent. Yeah, that's not bad. Now I'll take this off again just so you can see the leg articulation. Oh, actually, you know, before that, let's go to the back coattails. So this can actually move out this much, not really much, but it does swivel left about that much, and right. So it's pretty decent, and again, it's in the back, so you probably won't even be using it all that often. Now as for the leg articulation, he has a hip joint which goes up, or not hip joint, but thigh joint, which goes up this much, and it's actually colliding into the pelvis area right here. So he can't really go up that high, but he can go back pretty decent. And again, super movable, so it has a knee joint, which allows him to do that. And again, you would probably have to switch out a whole leg just to perform something like this. So that's pretty awesome. And there's not really much foot articulation. In fact, the most you can do is a pivot like that much and that much. Yeah, so not really much there. Now let's check out the accessories. So as for accessories, you're gonna get a pair of antennas and two faces, both of which transform into his insect form. This is the neutral face, and here's the enraged face, looking pretty crazy right there. You also get 3 sets of clawed hands. These two are the open hands, closed fist hands, And you also get 2 holding hands for holding the melee weapons shown here. And last but definitely not least is a cool little accessory, which is basically the serum that allows him to transform and use his insect abilities. So you can kind of recreate some of the actual scenes from the anime in which he's transforming into the insect. So that's pretty awesome. One thing I'd like to point out though, and I'm not sure if it's just mine or if it's even supposed to be like that, but this little part right here, that looks like it could be a paint error or a paint job mess up. I'm not quite sure, but just thought I'd point that out. Okay, so that's just about it for this Nendoroid review. I have a few minor gripes with it, and that is the antennas. They come off pretty easily, and also the paint error, which is pretty unnoticeable from a distance and at a certain angle. And also, this is probably the biggest gripe, and that is the huge gaps in the back. But like I said, it's in the back. You probably won't even notice it. But other than that, like I said, probably the coolest Nendoroid out right now. Definitely really like this guy. He's very cool, very posable. This is the super posable edition, and I definitely see what they mean now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because next time we'll be covering the Legacy of Rebeltech Evangelion Test Type 01 from the Evangelion You Cannot Advance Movie 2.0. So I hope I'll see you then.